Let's go now to the Joe Percoco corruption trial and another withering day of cross-examination for the prosecution's star witness. I'm talking about Todd Howe. He, the man that the government thinks can link the former Cuomo aide to the alleged scheme where Percoco profited, selling his influence to those seeking business with the state. But he is a witness with a whole lot of flaws, and today attorneys for Percoco, they tried to exploit those flaws, and they very well have succeeded. Watching all the action in the courtroom once again was our very own Dominic Carter. He's live tonight outside the federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan. Dom?
Good evening, Richard. Let's start with the very latest. First of all, it was such a rough day, such a bad day for the prosecution. An alternate juror was overheard making a joke that a mistrial should be declared. Again, an alternate juror making a joke, we don't know exactly to who as of yet, an alternate juror making a joke that a mistrial should be declared. That produced from Judge Caproni a stern warning to the entire jury to not listen to any media accounts or to anyone as it relates to this trial. Let's put it this way, Richard. As it relates to Todd Howe, defense attorneys are just getting started, and he's back for several additional days next week. For the prosecution's star witness, things are going from bad to worse. This is how Percoco attorney Barry Bohr finished his cross-examination of former lobbyist Todd Howe. "You would lie," Bohr said. "Yes," Howe's reply. "Stretch the truth." Howe said yes. "Make things up." Howe, yes. "You're in a difficult situation," attorney Bohr said. Yes. Quote, "I'm honest today and have been since I went and met with the government." Howe's already pleaded guilty to 8 felony counts in this case. Daniel Gittner, representing Peter Kelly, had Howe admit on the witness stand that he tried to defraud his credit card company by lying about a stay at the Waldorf Astoria just 6 weeks after signing his cooperation agreement, and also lied on an insurance form omitting his felony conviction. Gittner said to Howe, "As you sit here now, do you realize you are in violation of your cooperation agreement?" "Yes," Howe replied. "Do you think they're going to rip it up?" Response, "I sure hope they don't." What did we see in court today?
Well, it was extraordinary. We told the jury at the beginning of the trial that they should wait for cross-examination. I think we told you guys you should wait for cross-examination. And on cross-examination, this witness has been exposed for who he is and what he is.
Richard, I have never seen anything like this before in covering courtroom cases. A witness completely destroyed on the witness stand. And again, Richard, he's not done yet. Basically, we're looking at 4 cross-examinations. Mr. Howe is only at about 1.5, with 2.5 remaining. Reporting live from the federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan, I'm Dominic Carter. Richard, let's go back to you.
What's left that they can do to him? I mean, he has no credibility. They've basically said he's lied to everybody, family, friends, and anyone in between. Is it getting to the point about beating a dead horse here? Haven't they established this guy's got no credibility?
Richard, excellent point. I can only tell you that it's really sad watching this. It is so aggressive, so hard-hitting at Mr. Howe. They're just literally teeing off on him. And he starts out, this is the way each reported lie has gone. He, under oath, keep in mind, under oath, with a cooperation agreement from the feds. Think about this, Richard. The man admitted just a short time ago that he realizes that he is in violation of his cooperation agreement. That means, theoretically, he's looking at 130 years in prison. He is the only one that has pleaded guilty in this thus far. The others, the 3 business folks and Mr. Percoco, they are on trial, but Mr. Howe is the only one that the feds have as of right now. And Richard, to just watch this, I can't describe what it's like. They will have a document and they'll say, you realize that you couldn't commit a crime. Yes, I realized I couldn't commit a crime. And then they'll show him where he omitted, he checked no, that he didn't have a felony, and then a minute later he'll go, okay, I checked all the boxes, and then his story will change again, and he'll say, well, I did violate the agreement.
Hey, Dom, I got a
That's
Richard.
the way it's going with each count.
Richard Brodsky's got a question for you.
Dominic, there was other independent evidence that showed varying degrees of problems for various defendants. Did the cross-examination today attack that evidence or just attack Howe?
Excellent question, Mr. Brodsky. I hate to admit it, but it's an excellent question. And that is, how much will a jury weigh the independent evidence against Percoco? It did not come up today. What the defense is banking on is completely destroying Howe so that the jury members will say, if we can't believe him, how can we believe anything else? But you raise a good point. Independent of Mr. Howe, will the jury buy what the prosecution is selling? We don't know. We will find out. But right now, Richard, they have a major problem with the prosecution. Yep. Their star witness, there's no other way to say this, is basically being eaten alive on the witness stand.
All right, Dom. Again, a very interesting day here. Did they break till Monday, right? Yeah, I believe they do. Thank you, Dom. Sorry. Now, my question has been, okay, you've established Howe's got no credibility. However, they have all the email thread where he's talking about ZD, as you said, another word for cash. They have, obviously, testimony that's already happened that the prosecution's brought out from people saying, yeah, I obviously felt pressure. I knew who Percoco was. They talk about the culture that was surrounding the office or the governor's office and the 800 and I don't think 42 phone calls or whatever that Percoco made from governor office's phones after he became a lobbyist, and obviously the enrichment of his wife with a low-show job. I guess my question is, Counselor, if Howe has no credibility and he's dismissed basically as his testimony is of no value, is there enough?
Well, that's the question for the jury. To a certain extent, the defense lawyers sooner or later are going to have to get to not just destroying Mr. Howe, but to destroying the evidence in Joe Percoco's own words.
Or do they
oh,
say,
no.
you can't believe the star witness, you can't believe anything?
It depends on what the other evidence
but
is.
If the government could have made their case without Howe, considering how flawed he is, why wouldn't they have done it? Why would they rely so much on him?
I think you asked the right question. In retrospect, do they wish they didn't bring
or maybe they can't. Maybe they can't put it all together without him.
The prosecution isn't over here.
Right.
They're going to bring back other witnesses, and the hope would be for the prosecution that they would come back with other verifications other than Todd Howe. That's the thing.
The defense rests.
Yeah. Well, and I know we're over really quickly, though. There has been an unflattering portrait of the Cuomo administration in terms of not necessarily criminality, but strong-arming people, who gets to stay, who gets to go from the offices, how everything worked, and the fear that they imposed.
You wanted an end to dysfunction in Albany? Whatever else you can say, dysfunction is over. The problems for the Cuomo administration, if they arise, have not yet been put before the jury.
I agree with that. All right, coming up next, another top aide in the news for all the wrong reasons. Rob Porter, staff secretary to the president, he's out, accused of domestic violence with not just one, but two ex-wives. Several other top Trump aides now getting some tough questions. That and other headlines. We'll go to D.C. for that next.